Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'd like to go through and edit from some sand dunes in Death Valley. I have the color image on my website, but I thought it'd be interesting to go through and do kind of a dark black and white image, because I've always liked the sand dunes in black and white. Currently this image is unedited. I have not done anything to this. The only thing I've done so far is I went through and I grabbed a ground mask, a sky mask, whole bunch of luminosity masks that I think I'll need. I don't know if I'll use all of them, but I just wanted to have them on hand. And let's get into the edit. So this is just the neutral copy. I just went to conversions, neutral, and this is all this is. So let's go ahead and make another copy of it, because I like to keep the original neutral layer just alone. I don't want to edit that. That way if I need it for fixing edges or anything like that, then it's available to me and I can just do that. So I'd like to start with what I call the sky, just basically the background. So I'll do a sky, and then we don't want to just start darkening because it'll darken everything. We want to have a little bit of detail in it with these little lighter spots and darker spots. And let's go pick a darks luminosity mask. We got darks 2, that's not enough. Darks 3, that's pretty good. Darks 2.25. Let's start with the Darks 2.25. We can always change it later. And this way it'll give you an opportunity, because I've never edited this image before, to see how much I do screw up, delete a bunch of layers, start over. So hopefully it won't happen too much, but you never know. So what did I say? The Darks 2.25. So I'll go in, Darks 2.25, intersect. Now I'll go to Tools, Pro Adjustments, decrease the strength here. Start darkening this. There's one thing I want to make sure of is this section here where it's getting really dark, where the marching ants are. We hide those. This little section right there, it's getting pretty dark. So let's add a darks, let's go darks 4.25 and subtract it from the selection. And let's go ahead and do that. Actually, let's just start there. So now let's hide the marching ants so we can see if it's, okay, it is darkening, but it's not darkening as much. So let's go ahead and do that again. 4.25, subtract. Now let's try a little better. Okay, so I don't want that to go any darker. So what we can do is, let's Control or Command D. So we'll deselect that. But now let's make a luminosity mask that has just this portion in it. So we go luminosity masks, go back to the channels. Let's choose darks, because all the masks here were made from just the color copy. But now we're focusing on just this little section there. Let's go darks 5, dark 6. I'm liking dark 6, so let's go ahead and make a copy of that. Now let's delete those. So from here, let's make this more prominent. So let's go to our brush, make sure we're on white. Come up here to overlay so that we don't affect any of the other areas. Make our brush a little bigger. Yeah, hard brush is fine. And then we can just come in here and just brush this in. Let's do one more pass. Something like that. Then we'll hit X just to, my hand isn't quite working. Okay, let's start over here. Okay, X. And we'll actually hold the shift key and then bring it over to here. That looks better. So I'll go with that actually, and then make sure I'm black still. Let's just kind of make sure this isn't affected. We'll just kind of brush through the rest of this. Now let's deselect that, make sure we're good. Okay, go back to our main copy here. So let's do selection, sky. Okay, selection. Let's do a darks 3 copy this time, intersect. Now we'll do a darks, the newest one, dark 6 copy, subtract. Now let's try this again, go to Pro Adjustments, darken. Yep, that's looking better. Let's do that again here, because it is getting a little dark still. Oops, subtract. Okay. All right, we'll just go with that. Now what I want to do, because it's still a little light for me at the top, let's go to our depth, go to top to bottom, and we'll darken about 50% down. Go a stronger effect. Now we'll go 75% down. I think that's looking pretty good. So we're keeping some detail, but we're darkening the other parts of it that we don't need, because the emphasis is on the dune, especially the little peak there, and having this dark background will really emphasize that. Let's merge all these down by hitting the merge button. Then we'll go to this. Is that about good? Let's go one more. Merge down to that. Okay, that's perfect. Now let's make another copy of that. Command Shift Option E. So that layer won't be edited now. Now we want to edit the dune. And the way I like to edit is doing the dark areas first. We need to pick a luminosity mask that will darken the areas. So we'll come to channels and let's pick a dark luminosity mask. Darks 2, that's not dark enough. Darks 3 looks pretty good. About darks 3.75, that's not quite enough. I think our darks 3, so we'll go with that. Go back up to our layer, do selection, ground. Oops, let's deselect everything. Command D, make sure nothing else selected. Selection, ground. There we go. Now we have nice ground there. Now we'll do selection. Let's go to darks 3, intersect, click OK. Now go back to, what am I doing? Tools, Pro Adjustments. We'll just start darkening everything. So what we need to watch for is this dune right there will get pretty dark as we keep going. So what we can do is just go to the depth tab once this gets fairly dark, and we can start darkening from different angles to keep this out of the area that we're trying to darken. So that's looking pretty good up in here, but it's not dark enough through the rest of it. Go back to depth. Let's do a, probably what, top left? Diagonal from top left. Do darken, let's do about 50%. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I think that looks pretty good because we're starting, there's a little bit of detail there. Now let's come up from the bottom. Let's do bottom to top. And go, let's do a 75%. Well, let's go a little bit stronger strength. Let's start darkening. But then we are gonna start to get into here in this area, so we wanna back that off. So let's do just a quarter of the image. So we stay down lower, kind of keep bringing this in. It's looking good. We're getting pretty dark here. So let's come in from this bottom corner, diagonal from bottom left. All right, yeah, bottom left. All right, let's do just darken this. All right, it is getting up into here, so let's go ahead and delete those two. One more, something like that. So I think that's looking pretty good. So let's merge all these down. And just so you know, you don't have to always just use this panel. We'll deselect that, because for what I'd like to do now is, while that's good, I don't think it's good enough in certain areas. And to just make it simple, we'll go back to our darks 3. All right, is that what I want? Or do I want darks 2.25? Actually, let's go darks 2.25. So let's make a, I guess, a selection. So hit the little circle. Come back up, choose RGB. Now let's do a levels adjustment here. And we want to darken more of the image. We can see it's all, like, all the top is getting super dark, which I'm not concerned with right now. And I'll tell you why. Because all I'm focused on is down through here and down and through here. All these super dark areas, we'll just fix that with our brush. So I'm liking that. So now let's go to our brush, make it fairly big and make it soft. Don't want a hard brush here. Let's go to normal. Let's drop the opacity down to about, actually let's just go 100%. And then just start brushing this in. That way we're not affecting anything that's super dark. Okay, let's go small brush. Then we can just kind of brush this area in here. And I'm not doing the right angle. That does not look good in any way, shape, or form. So let's make just a bigger brush, and then we can just brush this in like this. That, let's go X. Now we can do a lower opacity, down like 50%, make a slightly smaller brush so that we can, whoops, that is too much. Okay, let's go a lot lower opacity, make a big brush, and then just kind of brush this in a little bit, right? Bring that dark back, bring this back in a little bit. Okay, that's looking better. How you doing through here? Bring this back in. That is looking pretty good. Make sure this isn't affected at all. That was the wrong direction. Let's go X 100%. Make sure that's not affected at all. Now let's look at our mask to make sure that we have that little section there. Okay, that is looking pretty good with all our darks. Now we want to start working on the light areas. So let's pick a lights luminosity mask. Lights 3, lights 2.75. I like the lights 2.75. So let's go with that. All right, so let's do another selection. Do the ground. Okay, got our marching ants. Now we'll go back to, what did I say? Darks 2.75 or lights 2.75. Okay, intersect. So we'll start to lighten this. So that's looking more dramatic. I'm thinking that looks pretty good. Kind of more dramatic. Okay, however, it's a little too bright down here in this area. So let's go to our depth, and then we'll go from bottom to top. Bottom to top. Now let's darken it from the bottom up to get rid of all this highlight down here, because we kind of want to focus your attention up here on the little peak here. So bottom to top, darken, and we're still on just the lights 2.25. So we can go a pretty strong effect here with the darkening. That's looking better. But you can see we're not touching any of this dark area here or the dark area here. We're just darkening the light section. I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. All right, let's stick with that. So we'll merge these down to one more. So if we need to restore. Now I'd like to restore from the top down. Okay, we'll deselect everything. This way it just makes sure that we didn't affect anything higher up in the sand dune. So we'll make a selection. So just the ground. And then we'll just restore down. So we want to use the down arrow here just to make sure. I don't know if it's affected, but we're just covering our bases. So let's go with diagonal. I don't really like that one because it got way down in here. So let's just do a down. Let's go with another. Okay, I think so. That looks pretty good. Didn't affect anything up in here on the dune. So that is actually looking pretty good. We have nice dark area up here. We have our dune that's kind of highlighted. And what I'd like to do is, because when I was shooting this, the sun was up that way. So I want to bring like the light down from that direction. In order to do this, we will make just a selection of the whole image like that. We'll stay on depth, and we want to, let's go basically, I guess, top to bottom. We'll do a strength of 1. Because we don't want it to be a super strong effect, and we'll just go lighten. That's looking pretty good. So let's merge this down. So we just need to want to merge it down once, and then use this layer here, this layer 4, as our restore. So having everything still selected, let's restore it from. Let's go left to right. Just do 1. Actually, let's go with strength of 2, restore, something like that. Let's do a bottom to top. I just did the wrong button. So I want to delete those. Okay. Did I do the wrong button? I don't know. Let's do it. Oh, I think I strengthened that, but I wanted to click down here. Okay, I'm back to organized here. So we'll do that. Let's do a diagonal from bottom left, diagonal from bottom right, and then the diagonal from the bottom. Let's do one more just to make sure. Just make sure we just have the light kind of filtering in just through this top section through here. So we can do another diagonal from the bottom, another diagonal from the other bottom. All right, so that is looking better. We have a little bit of light filtering through, hitting the top of this peak. We're darkening the bottom to bring our attention up to the peak here. And the cool thing about this little peak too is it has a little bit of dust blowing off it with the wind. Go ahead and close this. Now let's kind of scan through. Let's just make sure, oh, this little dust here, that's from a car. There's a road back there that goes up to a trailhead up into the hills. Now we'll just kind of scan through, but I think I would like to darken, I want to darken just this little bit right here, just the slightest bit. So to do that easily, we will just do, let's merge this down so we don't get too many layers eventually. Okay, darken this bit just a little bit right in through here. So do it the easy way. We'll just do a curves, grab our little picker tool here, and just do just something just a little bit like that. All right, let's close this. Now I want to use our brush, big brush. What are we on? Black, 100% normal. Now just go in, brush all of this in, trying to stay away from that area I want to darken. Now look at our mask to make sure that we're good. Do that, clean up this area. And to do that, I just hold the Option key and click on the mask, and then it shows me what I'm looking for. Okay, let's do this just a touch more. Just make sure we don't, let's harden our brush a little bit. Now we don't want to get the little bright area at the top there. All right, let's see that now. Just the slightest bit, that looks much better. So I think that looks pretty good. I think we will call that good for the day. And I don't know, I may put this one on my website. I may not. Because people have, as I've done several art fairs, people have kind of gravitated towards my like more abstract black and white. I've got one of the Aqua Tower in Chicago, very twisty, windy, wavy building, black and white. People really gravitate towards that. So I may save this one, print it out fairly large for the upcoming art fairs. I have one more in October that I'm getting ready for, so I may print out for that. But otherwise, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.